A little bit of cheating before showing up on camera again. These speakers are just sitting here. Just be gentle and then take that cable that connects both of them and track them through this plasticware here, these clips. This is continued. We are now going to put this palm rest back from the original video, which shows me disassembling the Dell Inspiron 5000 series. So this time we're actually going to put it back together. I've done a little bit of finagling just because I didn't think it was very interesting, since I don't edit, for you to watch me struggle while I figure out how to put a few little things together. This here is your CMOS battery, which I've already screwed down with the silver screw right here. It's just one screw. Be gentle. When I took this out, I did notice that this black cable, it's a data cable for this USB port. The CMOS battery and the USB are one cable here. Be careful when you remove it. The mechanical drive goes right on top of this. The other thing I noticed, this is your data cable for the optical drive. This goes here. I just wanted to put a few things in place. One thing I noticed, and that I forgot to note on the last video of tearing this why do I keep calling this an XPS? The Inspiron 5000 series. This brace plate is just these two screws right here. This needs to be moved from the palm rest. This is part of what does not get included in the palm rest replacement part. I did have to remove this piece of metal from the original palm rest. So I did that, recognizing that it needs to be in place before the palm rest, or the touchpad, can be placed in place. Put in place. There we are. Okay, and then we get a little piece of tape here. There. That's actually a very new piece of tape designed to keep the touchpad where it needs to be. There. Okay, so let me show you something real quick before I continue. Let me show you up close what I found tricky, and that's why I didn't bother to film it. Not that I didn't think it was interesting enough to film, it's just I had to struggle, and no one wants to watch someone struggle and not have success. So this is what you need to be careful with. The XPS, why do I keep calling this an XPS? The Inspiron 5000. Okay. Now let's see. This daughter board here, this circuit board here, is a computer that works through the touchpad so that you can unlock it. This here, also you want to be careful with, is another circuit board that helps with the thumbprint recognition or fingerprint recognition, so that you can unlock the machine with your thumb or finger. So it is all held together. This circuit board right here slides under this piece of metal at the end of my thumb here, and then this piece of metal over here, which is the same piece of metal for this circuit board here. This here gets held in by this one screw here, and then it all sandwiches on top of the power button. Remember, when you tear apart this machine, the power button is a separate part, so you do have to move that from the original palm rest. Make sure that when you throw away the palm rest, the original one, that you grab all the parts necessary. So the button, which is normally on most models, the button on this case is not actually the same part as the palm rest. Here's our new palm rest. And now this particular customer said she didn't care about the color. So she gets a two-tone setup. It actually looks kind of sharp. So the palm rest, it's not screwed down all the way yet, is going to be silver, as the rest of the whole machine was. And then again, the power button, as I just spoke of, it is a separate, you know what? Yeah, okay, cool. So the button right there came off a silver machine. I kind of like that look. Two-tone is always a sharp look. Causes it just pops. Okay, so let's do the rest of this on camera. So what we're going to do, palmrest. Let's do those silver screws. Those are easy to remember. You only have to screw them around a couple times. There. There we go. If you've never been here before, my name is Chris. I film some of the work I do a few days a week. Try to show up on a reliable schedule, but that's not necessarily possible. I'm busy taking apart, actually reassembling a Dell Inspiron 5000 series. Probably one of the last machines I'll repair that still has an optical drive. Okay, cool. So now let's see what that palm rest feels like. There we go. It clicks. Good. Power button, keyboard, and touchpad are now one. I cheated a little bit. I put the speakers in off camera. I screwed the CMOS battery and what looks like a USB port on, and then the touchpad I half installed before I went live again. Okay, cool. So this keyboard does not have a Bluetooth, what's it called, a backlight. It just has the data cable. Okay, so I wanted to make sure, oh, that's right, let's do this. This cable here is for the optical drive. That's going to be two flat like pancake screws, I call them. All right, there. Okay, now I mentioned this in the last the last video. This battery is basically expired. I'm going to ask her about how long she thinks her battery lasts. What she needs to know is that this battery is really due for replacement. So a battery should not be bulbous like this. It should be flat on both sides. So she's lucky this machine didn't bulge out and damage the structure of the machine. So it looks like this is about as bad as it's going to get. It doesn't usually get this much worse. It does sometimes, and certain brands are known for it badly, like Apple's. Some of those batteries I've seen, they get so bad they damage the rest of the computer. So she lucked out this time. Okay, so there is that. What did I do with? Aha. There are actually only about 2 screws that hold this motherboard in place, as I mentioned in the prior video when I tore this machine down. As you see, I did not have to remove the heatsink. The heatsink often needs to be removed so the motherboard can be removed from the chassis of the machine. That is not the case on the Inspiron 5000 series. All right, so good, we have no connectors on the bottom of this motherboard. That's a good thing. That gets annoying. Oh, I see how that works. One of the things I've noticed, this ribbon cable for the keyboard, it's not pre-bent, but it gives you the lines to show you where it's supposed to be bent. Because like this, you wouldn't necessarily recognize, obviously the connector is not right here. It's right here on the motherboard. I'm going to move this cable so it doesn't get yanked. I never removed the hard drive cable. Yeah, I wonder if she even has anything on that external hard drive, on that mechanical drive. Would not be surprised if she didn't. Just be careful you don't squish any cables underneath. That's the biggest frustration. Make sure any cables underneath don't get stuck underneath anything else. Got it. Speaker, I'm going to plug that in. Okay. Okay, the only weird connector on this particular motherboard is the optical connector motherboard. The optical connector goes vertical in. It does not go sideways as normal. So when you put it in, when you insert it, take the plastic connector and lift up. There. I don't know how else to show you. The other thing I'm going to do is test everything before I actually screw it all shut, because there's a darn good chance that one of these cables is going to need to be reseated. Okay, so this is the connector for the hard drive, the mechanical hard drive. It's a ribbon cable on the motherboard side. It's a plastic connector on the hard drive side. Okay, good. Hard drive's plugged in. Okay, so now the fan is about the only thing missing, and the battery is the only thing missing. So I'm going to gently, oh, the Wi-Fi card right here. I'm going to put the M2 in. There, M2 is now in place. This thing would likely boot. Okay, check all your connectors at this point. RAM did not have to be removed. Ah, look at that. I made a mistake. Look at that. I made a mistake. I did exactly what I told you not to do. Check that out. I buried the keyboard connector. So, that's why you constantly check on your own work. Let's remove the SSD. We'll find our cable. Be gentle removing that speaker cable. Ah, there we go. See there? This is what I'm talking about. That's how that cable folds out. Do 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 do. Alrighty, we're almost there. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. that's all in one place. Okay, that's in place. Okay, I think we have, yes. Let's put screw in place so the motherboard doesn't slide around. That's not the right screw. It's a smaller screw than that. It's one of these screws, isn't it? Oh, that's weird. Motherboard screw is actually a smaller screw than normal. Weird. Yeah, that's the right one. All right. Okay, at this point, now we've got a nice... Okay, what are we missing here? See where this goes here. Where does this go? What is this cable? Okay, yeah, we got two circuit boards here. Hi, this is Chris.
Hello. Chris Obrito.
Hi, this is Chris.
Hi, Chris. This is Stacy Para. I was just checking in on my laptop.
I'm working on it as we speak.
And I just wasn't sure, like, of your closing time, or if you thought it would be today or tomorrow.
Oh, definitely today. I'm
kind of rush or...
I'm working on it as we speak. I'll call you before I leave. It will be done today.
Okay, the other thing is this is probably going to take me like 40 or 45 minutes to get to you, so I just don't want to leave you hanging.
That's fine. Thank you for the warning. We'll be good.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
Okay, bye.
All right. There we go. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Okay, so I want to put the battery in now so I know which holes are used for both the motherboard and the battery and which ones are only for the battery. Okay. I don't want to plug the battery in because I'm messing around. Okay. There. Okay. There. Oh. That's cute. There. That's what we need. Don't tighten down your screws until you got them all aligned. I was having alignment issues right there. Again, remember, this keyboard does not have a backlit keyboard. This connector here shall remain empty. There's no backlit keyboard cable. Oh wait, no, what is that? That is... Dude, what is that? The cable I just tried to say is the keyboard Bluetooth. Oh, you know, oh, it's this. It's this thing here. Got it. That's funny. All right. Okay, so what I got to figure out, this cable here goes to here. It's supposed to go underneath. Let's see how this works. It goes underneath the motherboard. Uh-oh, what's that? I'm going to be gentle, but I'm going to remove this cable I just placed because it's in my way. Now I know where this goes. Alrighty. Okay. So I'm actually going to remove the battery screw so I can lift this up. Okay, so now I can slide this motherboard cable cable was mangled before it was even let's see here. I'm going to be gentle. I don't want to damage anything. So I'm just going to be gentle. Lift this battery up. Okay. Kind of a weird design. I gotta be careful not to squish this cable. It looks like it's been mangled, and I didn't even do the mangling. It's not that someone's been in here before, but I think the factory actually just sloppily put it together. Here we go. Nope. There, that should be good. Hopefully I don't have to revisit that cable. Okay. So now that's in place. The only cable I don't have to revisit, or the only other cable I don't have that I did from the old setup is the backlight keyboard, the backlight for the keyboard. All right, so now I'm going to put the battery back in place. Okay, I think I've got all the battery screws in place. Now I'm going to do the LAN. What did I do with the WAN cable? Oh, let's put the hard drive in place here. That's weird. What did I do? Ah, and then we've got this here. This is the actual power cable. Cool thing about these Dells is that if this were to fail, maybe if you yanked on it and snapped it, it's a user serviceable part, which means you're going to get charged about 12 bucks for the part. It really doesn't want to play. All right, the WAN cable. The WAN card? What did I just do with it? Here's our screen. Right here. There's our optical drive right here. What did I do with the optical, the WAN card, the Wi-Fi card? Oh, you know what? I got another piece of the machine over here. What did I just do with it? I'm actually going to cheat for a second. Let me see something here. Let's see for a second. Oh, you know what? Ah, driving myself nuts. Got it. Now I see what's going on. The WAN card is on the screen. Hello. That'll drive me nuts. Gee, Chris. Are you sure you know what you're doing? Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. All right. Just double checking my connections. might not be the right screw. Let's see. Fuck. Alrighty. And then we get this little plastic adapter here. Oh, I see how that works. I thought that screw looked a little big. This screw holds down that little plastic cover. Annoying. There we go. And kabam. That is now plugged in. Okay, so now we have to put the power cable we need to route that cable properly. We're good. We're almost there. Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to put the fan back, which also was part of the screen assembly. I'm going to gently plug it back in. Again, remember, leave your battery cable unplugged until you're ready to fire it up. Get the power supply, the power for the fan is now in. Let's see here. And the fan is now in place. Be careful with your routing. Make sure that you don't get too excited or sloppy about putting the cables in. Okay. Optical drive goes here. Okay, so we're not actually going to leave that in. Okay, here we go. We're going to close this up. Now that I know that's going to fit, I need to get the palm rest to fit. There, now it's coming along. There's a piece of rubber on the bottom of the bezel for the screen. You're going to have to slide that up and over. There. That was kind of a pain. There. Again, this is why you need to be careful about the cables, because if they're not routed properly, you'll pinch something. Oh, goodness. Oh. Ooh, yeah, almost pinched the cable right where the screw is about to go. Oh, there. I didn't crack the screen doing that. Didn't sound too good. All right. Yeah, that's the problem with right to repair. Not terribly repairable sometimes. Pay attention. These screw holes don't necessarily get filled up. They get pushed in from the outside. Let's see here. I'm going to plug in the fan. Oh no, this is actually for the screen. Just be gentle. Good. Okay, at this point I'm going to open it up. Make sure everything is one. Okay, good. Okay, so I got a screw I'm not sure about. So what I need to do... I got it. Good. So... I'm going to drop a screw in the midst of all the fun, rather than looking for it. I'm not seeing it on the table here. It must have wandered off. So, what I'm going to do, all these silver screws you can see here are external screws. I dropped one of the LCD screws somewhere. So for that, we have a screw kit right here. I don't like these screws. Let's see. Oh, these have been dropped because I re-put. This is probably. Is this gonna work? That might be a bit long. Let's see if this works. Oh, it works. Cool. Not much past finger tight. Okay. So now the LCD is secure. This hole here is secure through the palmrest backing here. So this is the point where I plug the battery in. And now again, I'm not actually expecting that battery to have much charge. You do want to be careful when putting things together. And I'm not happy with what I just did right there. I just noticed I might have kinked the cable. I want to see. Yeah, okay, I see what I want. I'm going to lift this hinge up. So I got smart. Slow it down. I'll lift this up here. So this here cable is for the Wi-Fi. What we want is to make sure it's totally in the case. What I've noticed is that it's not. About this here. Oh, there. Yeah, that feels better. Oh, yes. I feel much more better. Much better. Got a palm rest. See. Go in. Come on, man. There. I didn't like how that LCD Wi-Fi cable, as you know, the Wi-Fi cable runs the perimeter of the screen in most conventionally built laptops. So I needed to make sure that cable didn't get pinched. Now I'm happy. Oh, don't like that screw, huh? This one's a little long. I don't like that. That feels good. Is that the hole that screw goes to? Aha, got that screw in the wrong hole. Not a huge deal. All right, now, before I even lock this up, I'm going to see if it'll fire up. Where did she hand? Oh, this power cable's right here, so her battery probably doesn't work. Ah, that's why you gotta be careful. There's a cable that wanted to pop out. Yes, what cable is that? I see. Pay attention to the details and you'll be all right. Man. You know what I'm going to do? You do want to remember where the cables you ran routed to. Good. Okay, so I'm going to take this cable and make sure it's on the inside of the machine. Otherwise, that can obviously be problematic. And you can damage that cable just by using your laptop by opening the case. I think that should handle it. Again, triple check. This cable really wants to get pinched here. Good, that looks good. Okay, we're going to be gentle here. We have an alignment issue. There. All right, so which of these holes? Good, okay. This one is okay. Oh, I see how this cable can bind up. Okay, we need to make sure that the CD drive doesn't get stuck. Let me make sure this my choice of cable routing works. Oh, I see. Yeah, we should be good. Good. Okay, the battery's plugged in. I'm going to put the cover on just to make sure I don't. Good. Okay, good. Okay, before I even click it together, let's just see if it turns on. without plugging it in. It does. That's a noisy machine. Okay, nothing on the screen. Let's see if the power button works. Okay, we're able to turn it off. That's why you don't screw it together yet. Okay, so what might we be missing? LCD is in place. Okay, I'm going to turn this thing on without the bottom piece on. I want to make sure I don't short circuit anything with any screws. Let's close all those opportunities up. I'm going to reseat the screen cable. Okay, let's see. Kind of a dusty screen here. Turns on. It's noisy right away. Well, that's interesting. The keyboard palm rest, the caps lock is now turning off. That's not a good sign. All right. This keyboard so the palm rest is the power button's working. Both the hard drive and the SSD are plugged in. What might be the problem? I can tell you that fan should not be so fast to begin with. It should be a quiet start. Let's try this again. The fact that the palm rest was on to begin with. Oh, wonder if the battery. Yeah, okay, so let's plug this thing in. All right, let's plug it in. I wonder if the battery is just dead. Let's plug in. Hey. Okay, what's that telling us? Oh, date of time not set. Run setup program. Got it. Mouse is working. Continue. Let's just get it online. Okay, so it seems like we probably just have a dead battery. Good. There's our Dell logo. Just be gentle with that cable. Hey, here comes Windows. If you're just tuning in, I've done this because inaccessible boot device. Well, now it's telling me it doesn't see the hard drive or the SSD. Well, so again, we don't know if it's booting off the mechanical drive or the M2 at this point. Oh, it's turning itself on. It's got a stock drive in it. Both drives are stock. Let's see here. Now you saw that behavior. The first time I turned it on, the fan went to high heck. Okay, so the drive is working. That's why we're getting the Windows logo. That physically resides on your boot drive. So we got the error that told me it said it had an inaccessible boot drive. Okay, well that's telling us our hard drive isn't working. Oh, you know what? Okay, let's go to F12. I think I know what the problem is. Because the CMOS battery was disconnected, the boot configuration changed. Okay, so I'm going to smash that F12 key. And now I'm going to go into, yeah, it's trying to boot off of the Toshiba drive, which is the mechanical drive. Okay, so the settings, the CMOS battery being disconnected, are not trying to boot off of the M2. Without even looking at the content of the actual drive, I'm going to take a guess that the content for Windows is actually resident on the M2. So you can tell right now that the UEFI is trying to find the Toshiba, and there's your serial, 256 gig. No, okay, I was wrong. That is actually a Toshiba M2. It didn't occur to me that Toshiba would have built this M2 drive here. But there's our 250 gig drive, M2 2280. So let's go BIOS setup and see what kind of boot this is. Okay, I'm going to plug in a mouse. Which mouse do I want to use? Let's see here. This will just be easier. I'm going to check the boot configuration. If it's booting, if it was configured to boot legacy before, and then the CMOS being removed, this would make sense. Okay, so we're going to go to boot system, boot path and security. System information, advanced boot options, enable legacy, okay, so it's set up. Well, let's disable secure boot. disable the secure boot. Secure boot. Let's disable that. Yes, boot sequence. There we are, okay. Let's see if this boots reliably now. Oh, now it's trying to do an automatic repair. Let's see what happens. Diagnosing your PC. You have Windows 11 on here. You can tell that by the font. Okay, did not restart. Let's just see if we can get this thing to boot. Let's get a good solid boot going here. We'll talk to her about our options because the battery ought to be replaced, and it would be a good upgrade and a replacement for this M2. That's only a 256 Toshiba. Inaccessible boot drive. Well, that's interesting. The M2. Don't give me that smiley face. Is it going to turn on? F12. There's our legacy boot options. Let's just try this one more time. So legacy boot, it's not even seeing that drive. Okay, so let's turn it off. Let's go back to F12, turn it on. F12. BIOS option. Actually, let's go to Diagnostics and see if we can tell it to only scan the drive. Yes, the color bars are... We're just going to do a simple hard drive diagnostic. Okay, battery is reaching the end of its usable life, as I saw visually. That's all this says here. Actually, you know what I think I want to do? I'm going to lay this down and I'll move the camera. Okay. Oh, I see why this wasn't lighting up. I think I got... Oh, I know what the problem is. Yeah, I got a magnet on this thing that's making it think. My little board here. Let's do this. Let's move this. I already know what the problem is. Yeah, I got a magnet in my little board here that's activating the sensors in. Okay, so now let me put something on top of this. Because I don't want any metal pieces touching the bottom. Okay. Here's about what we're gonna do. Oh, you know what I can do? Let's see if this works. There. Now you can kind of see what I'm up to. Okay, so now we just continue testing. Let's see if it has trouble reading our M2 drive. You saw it try to boot. And that little circle that is made of dots is actually software that sits on the hard drive. That's the Windows boot. Okay, so if you have a Dell computer, Dell has always had an F12 activation key for their built-in utility to test the whole machine. So I'm having trouble booting right now, and I thought that since the CMOS battery got disconnected, that maybe the boot configuration got manipulated. I turned off secure boot, and that still hasn't fixed our issue. So here we are. I'm running a diagnostic. I'm live and unedited, so you get to see this, or the aches and pains I experience. Testing memory. I want to be able to test just one part. Let's hit escape and see if we can only test the drive. Let's move this. Let's just plug the mouse back in. USB. Okay, well, it did a test. So we got a green check on the hard disk, but that verbiage implies it's the actual hard disk, not the M2. That's the RAM. So it doesn't look like their system utility includes. It says it found the boot path. Okay, so. Oh. Yeah, so we have two boot paths. Well, that's really interesting. No, we're not going to run through that whole test. They're doing the testing on the RAM. Okay, so our boot path test's okay, but we get an error on boot. So what I'm going to do is exit, turn it off, and I'm going to reseat that M2, and hopefully we get a reboot that is reliable. I'm going to hold this button down. Okay, it's off. So I'm just going to reboot. I'm going to, not reboot, I'm going to reseat. That's what I want to do. I want to reseat this M2 here. There's a slight chance it's just needing a good reboot, reseat here. Okay, be gentle. Okay. So let's see. Oh, that's right. We can't use. It's annoying. My rubber pad here has magnets in it, so it causes the laptop to pretend it's always locked up. Well, we're going to do this. We're just going to slide this aside. Okay, I reseated the M2. Let's try to reboot. We don't want to do an automatic repair. We want to I'm going to F12 it. I'm going to turn on secure boot again. UEFI boot. I'm going to plug in this mouse because I hate all trackpads, although the trackpad is working. That is part of what needed to be migrated. I think I'm going to charge more for this repair next time on this machine. All right, let's see here. Let's go to boots. Secure boot, let's turn it on again since I don't think that's the problem. Enable. Oh, well, let me turn off the it's on. Oh, let's try that. Are you able to? Oh, you're not watching what I'm doing here. Do 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 do. Do do do. Does this work? There. Okay, we're going to try, we were not trying to boot off a legacy. Now let's try it. We're going to do apply. Exit and see if this boots off of a legacy setup. I don't know if this setting got toggled when removing the CMOS battery, but we're going to find out. Okay, now we're getting a okay, now it doesn't want to see the drive anyway. Let's go back to F12. Let's go to Legacy M2. Okay, so it's not even seeing the drive in a legacy environment. So it must have been secure boot enabled. Tater, you sleeping? Okay, so let's go to BIOS setup again. Let's see here. We don't need to boot off of the network. That'll just add more seconds to your boot. SATA operation. Oh, this might be what's screwed up. No, it's on. Yeah, see, the problem is we don't know if the BIOS. I'm going to just try this. Exit. Let's just see if this does it. Look at that. That's kind of slick. Oh, you can't see it on the camera, but silver. Okay, yeah, so it's just not seeing the M2. Yeah, okay, cool. F12, BIOS setup. Secure boot, we can enable that. Not allowed in legacy mode. And I found it in AHCI. Drives. Legacy off. Let's turn UEFI back on. Let's turn secure boot back on. I just turned legacy off. Come on. Oh. Legacy option ROMs are required for attempt. I don't want to boot off of the legacy. UEFI only. Advanced boot options. Nope, let's uncheck that. Legacy option ROMs are required for attempt legacy boot. Always. We don't need the network stack. That'll slow us. That'll just slow us down. Drives, smart reporting. We don't care. You know what? Let's go ahead and report. USB configuration, audio, security. No, we don't need the M2 password. That was never messed with. Secure boot. Not. How do I disable legacy here? General system. How do I just do defaults? Restore settings. Okay, go ahead and restart. Let's see. Last known good bit settings. Let's see what happens. Okay, here we're trying to boot. Like I said, well, I don't know if I've said it in the last airing, but the USB drives, or the M2 drives, if they're OEM, tend to be less reliable than the aftermarket. Let's see here. We got a blank screen. We're plugged in. Hey! There we go. I did not ask her for her. Stacy Para. All right. Let's call her. We got it working. So we don't know exactly what got messed up in the BIOS. So essentially, something in the boot section got manipulated when I removed the CMOS battery. So thankfully, Dell offers the opportunity to refer to a last known good boot state with the BIOS. So there we are. So let's call our victim here. What number did she call? Stacy.
This is Stacy.
Hey Stacy, I'm ready for you to come over.
Oh, okay. I will get there as soon as I can.
All right. Yeah, you said about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully it won't be longer, so I'll leave now.
Not a big deal. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Bye. So there you go. This job took a little bit longer than scheduled, but you've just watched me reassemble a Dell Inspiron 17 5000 series live on YouTube at South Bay Tech Gurus. Give me a phone call at 855-434-8787. Show up in the YouTube chat. Say hi there if you don't feel like a phone call. Otherwise, I will probably be back tomorrow.